Welcome to battle number 2 of week number 6 of the FnF Victory Road Draft League Season 2. This battle is going to be pitting Colin's team, which is Blitz City Haxorus, versus Lionhook's team, which is Florida Flesh Ribbons. And as a reminder, the Mega Pokemon available in this battle is Mega Lopunny, and the Z Crystal Pokemon available in this battle is Tapu Koko with Z Any. I think it has Z Any, not Z Attack. I always mix it up. Yeah, it has Z Any. Lionhook is actually not bringing any Mega Pokemon or Z Pokemon in this battle, so that's only on Colin's side does he have a Pokemon capable of doing both of those things. This is going to be a pretty interesting battle considering we have... actually, I'd say Colin's team this time kind of rides the line of bulky offense and hyper offense. He's pretty offensive. Lionhook's leaning a little bit more towards balance, has some stall Pokemon, has some hard hitters, has generally bulky Pokemon, not really fast Pokemon except Kingdra in the rain. It looks like speed is definitely on Lionhook's, on Colin's side, and maybe bulk overall is on Lionhook's side, but we do know that Rotom Wash can be very bulky. Amoonguss, Sylveon, Metagross, Piloswine, those are all bulky Pokemon. Even Beware on the physical side. Kingdra if you invest, but I doubt there's investment. And with Colin, we have Tapu Koko and Mega Lopunny. Even Mega Lopunny can be a little bulky. I'd say Tapu Koko is the only Pokemon that's not super bulky. So this could go short or long, depending on how it goes. So we'll see how this goes. And I think it'll be an interesting battle, so we'll just jump right into it. Lead-wise, we do have a few Stealth Rockers. There's Camerupt with Stealth Rock on Colin's side. There's Metagross and Piloswine with Stealth Rock on Lionhook's side. Colin has led with Tapu Koko before, I think with Rotom Wash before as well, so we could see one of those pivots lead. Instead, it's going to be Scrafty that goes for the lead. Miami Iron, the Beware, is going to be the other Pokemon that goes for the lead. This looks like it could be pretty intense either way. Beware does have a very high defense stat due to the ability Fluffy. Scrafty has the ability to tank hits pretty hard or to hit really hard. Scrafty's going to go for that Fake Out, which causes Miami Iron to lose only 6% of its health. Miami Iron is now free to attack if it so pleases or to switch out. Scrafty can do big damage if it has... I don't remember if it gets High Jump Kick, but usually I think Scrafty runs Drain Punch. Beware is capable of using Superpower in this scenario, so it can hit very hard with a Superpower if it so desires. It looks like either one can threaten the other depending on what the investment and what the items they're holding are and their moveset, but this is a little bit of an uncomfortable matchup for both sides. If I had to pick, I'd say maybe Beware is a little bit more comfortable right now, just because its attacks do hit hard and it wasn't intimidated by Scrafty. It also has Fluffy to protect itself on the defensive side. Scrafty might want to switch out in this scenario. Beware does not get Play Rough. It does look like it should get Play Rough, but it surprisingly doesn't. But either side could be going for that switch. It's really a toss-up to see who will come in. If Colin predicts a fighting move correctly, a Nidoqueen can come in and threaten Beware. Tapu Koko could also be a threat with Dazzling Gleam. And Camerupt's actually the one who's going to come in. A Return is going to hit hard, dealing critical hit damage. I wonder if that mattered, taking down Camerupt in one shot. And Tapu Koko is going to come in, setting up that Electric Surge. If it has Dazzling Gleam, it could do really big damage to Beware. Tapu Koko is actually going to go for the Volt Switch, switching into a different Pokemon. It's going to do 40% to Miami Iron, the Beware. Miami Iron staying in was actually pretty gutsy considering Tapu Koko does have access to Dazzling Gleam, and a Specs Dazzling Gleam would hurt it a lot. I'm not sure if this Koko's Specs, considering how much that Volt Switch did, even in electric terrain, it didn't do that much. Return is going to hit very hard, bringing Scrafty down to 73% of its health. Miami Iron can go for another return if it so desires, but it is risky considering Scrafty has access to Drain Punch. Who's faster in this scenario is a big question. 236 versus 240. Beware is slightly faster, but if Scrafty has any speed investment, it will be able to outspeed Miami Iron if Miami Iron doesn't have speed investment. Colin is going to have to decide whether he wants to attack with Scrafty, use that Drain Punch to restore some HP, and try to take down Miami Iron the Beware, or to go ahead and switch out once again. But that return will hit anything hard, especially considering Colin does not have any ghosts on his team. And a Fake Out is going to do a little bit of chip damage to Miami Iron. Looks like Miami Iron staying in. It is pretty comfortable versus this Scrafty. This Beware knows no fear. Big question now is, will Scrafty switch out, or will Colin allow Scrafty to take that return and go down, or will Scrafty outspeed Miami Iron with a Drain Punch? Colin does still have access to Nidoqueen, actually, which does have Stealth Rock. I was going to comment that Camerupt is his main rocker, but Nidoqueen does have access to Stealth Rock. Whether it has it on its moveset or not, I'm not sure, considering Nidoqueen does have an offensive role to bring to the table. And General Grievous and Metagross is actually going to come in, taking that Drain Punch. It's going to do about 26%. General Grievous can get hit pretty hard by a Knockoff, if Knockoff is the move that Scrafty decides to use. We could maybe see Rotom Wash come in, try to tank a Meteor Mash. General Grievous could also go for the setup with Stealth Rock in this scenario as well. I think it's most likely that we'll see Rotom Wash come in. One of the things Rotom Wash does not know, just like Beware, Rotom Wash does not know fear. It is pretty comfortable in most matchups. Shibui, the Amoonguss, is going to come in versus Nidoqueen, actually. Interesting choice versus Metagross, considering Metagross can go for the Meteor Mash. Shibui is going to go for a Giga Drain, and that's going to get rid of Nidoqueen's substitute. Looks like Nidoqueen's going to go for another substitute, but Shibui's going to go ahead and Giga Drain once again. Nidoqueen goes for yet another substitute, and Shibui's just Giga Draining the Nidoqueen. And an Ice Beam's going to do big damage, but Shibui is going to be able to take down Nidoqueen with a Giga Drain. That was a strange moment. Nidoqueen just kept trying to set up those substitutes. In comes Lopunny. Metagross is going to come in, and to take that Fake Out. Yep, Fake Out is the move that Colin uses. Metagross is comfortable versus Lopunny, and that Fake Out Metagross can go for a Meteor Mash now to hit Lopunny extremely hard, or a Zen Headbutt. Lopunny probably going to stay back. If it has high jump kick, maybe it could go for that risky KO, but I don't think it's a good idea. Rotom is going to come in, taking that Zen Headbutt, does massive damage, 74%. Rotom is brought down to 33%. If this is a Choice Band Metagross, now is the time for Scrafty to come in to take that Zen Headbutt, and Amoonguss is going to come in instead. Volt Switch hits Amoonguss very softly. Amoonguss comes in with that Regenerator bulk added to its HP. Tapu Koko is now going to be the Pokemon to come in versus Amoonguss. Does it have a move like Brave Bird that can take down Amoonguss? We will have to see. Scrafty's actually the one to come in. Piloswine comes in versus Scrafty. I think Lionhugs was trying to predict that Volt Switch. Now Piloswine is not in the most favorable scenario. An Earthquake still can hit Scrafty reasonably hard, but Drain Punch will be able to bring Scrafty's HP back up, and it does, going back up to 71%. Polo's going to go for the Light Screen. Interesting choice versus Scrafty, considering Scrafty isn't a special attacker, but it will be able to provide some support to the other teammates. And Sylveon comes in, Flesh the Sylveon, taking that Drain Punch, doesn't do that much damage. And a Throat Chop is going to hit Sylveon. Sylveon just goes for the Wish. Because Throat Chop is active on Sylveon, it can't Hyper Voice. Poison Jab hits Miami Iron. It is poisoned now, but it receives that Wish, going up to 88%, 75% now. Miami Iron is now free to go for a Superpower or Return, which will do massive damage to Scrafty. Scrafty goes for the Drain Punch, super effective, does 32%, but Miami Iron's going to go for Return. Does big damage, taking Scrafty down to 16%, but Miami Iron is holding on by a thread with that 30%. Shibui's going to come out to take that Drain Punch now. Doesn't do that much damage though, only restores up to 28%. Scrafty is really trying to restore its HP. It is a valuable Pokemon in this matchup, especially with that Throat Chop to prevent Sylveon from going with the Hyper Voice. And Toxic is going to hit Tapu Koko now. Tapu Koko is slowly going to be whittled down by Toxic, but Sludge Bomb would actually probably do more versus Tapu Koko. Tapu Koko probably going to pivot out now to avoid any Sludge Bombs. And indeed it does. That Volt Switch is going to hit. And in comes Rotom Wash. Sludge Bomb's going to take Rotom Wash down to 12%, and the Poison is going to actually take it down to 6%, I mean. Score is now 3-6, Rotom hanging on by a thread. Sorry, 4-6. And Shibui's going to go for the Toxic, predicting that switch in, but Rotom Wash is able to set up a Light Screen, and now Mega Lopunny comes in. Now the score is 3-6. Fire Punch does really big damage to Shibui. Shibui's going to go ahead and Toxic Mega Lopunny, not switching out. And in comes Sylveon, taking that Fire Punch. Doesn't do that much damage, 23%. Sylveon is now free to Protect Stall if it desires, or go for the Hyper Voice. The big question now is, will Return do enough to take down Sylveon, or will Lopunny switch out? It does have Light Screen up. And it goes for the Return. It does 43%. Lopunny's going to go for Heal Bell, which heals Miami Iron the Beware. Sylveon is now pretty vulnerable, though. General Grievous is going to come out, taking that Return, and Lopunny, meanwhile, is being whittled down. It can die to a Bullet Punch, but Fire Punch is going to do big damage. Burning it, Meteor Mash does take down Lopunny, but the Burn is going to take down General Grievous. Score is now 2-5. The big question now is going to be, how does Colin take out Amoonguss? Amoonguss does seem to be a big threat with Regenerator and that massive bulk. It does have Sludge Bomb as well to take down Tapu Koko and wear down Scrafty. In comes Scrafty. Speaking of, Shibui the Amoonguss is going to come in. Scrafty goes for that fake out. Doesn't do that much damage. The Drain Punch is going to restore a little HP to Scrafty, but Amoonguss is going to restore some HP back with Giga Drain. So looks like it's going to be pretty uneventful. And Shibui goes for the Toxic. Scrafty has Shed Skin though, so it is fine with that. And in comes Sylveon, taking that Drain Punch, not going to do that much damage. Sylveon is free to Wish now, if it so desires, but Poison Jab is actually going to take down Sylveon. It looks like Scrafty is doing pretty well in this matchup. Kingdra is going to come out, Hurricane Andrew 2.0. And in comes Tapu Koko to take the Draco Meteor. Actually, no. Rain Dance is going to be set up for Kingdra. Tapu Koko can go for the Dazzling Gleam at this moment. Will it be enough? And it does go for the Dazzling Gleam. It's a critical hit that may have mattered. This is going to come down to, does Scrafty have enough Drain Punches left? It has 8 Drain Punches left. If it can't Drain Punch, Amoonguss will be a big problem for this Scrafty. In comes Polo the Piloswine. Dazzling Gleam going to critical again, but Earthquake is going to take down Tapu Koko. And now the last Pokemon left is Scrafty. Amoonguss comes out and Scrafty goes for the Drain Punch. Drain Punch restores, even though it does very little because Scrafty's HP is so low and Amoonguss's is high, it does do quite a little bit of recovery. Throat Chomp is going to do big damage. Sludge Bomb does decent damage too, 18%, and poisoning Scrafty, but that Shed Skin is going to get rid of that poison. Throat Chop once again doing some decent damage, but Synthesis is going to allow Shibui to recover. This is going to be a little stally now. Throat Chop has 21 PP though, so Scrafty can keep going. The Drain Punch is going to do 18%, and Shibui goes for the Synthesis again. Looking pretty stally here. Another Throat Chop and another Sludge Bomb. Poisoned yet again. Will the Shed Skin work? This time Shed Skin does not work. Scrafty goes for the Drain Punch to recover a little bit, and Shibui's going to Sludge Bomb yet again. Poison brings it down to 1%. Scrafty Drain Punch is an last-ditch effort, but the Sludge Bomb is going to take Scrafty down, and that is the match. It is a 3-0 score for Lionhug's team, which is Florida Flesh Ribbons over Colin's team, which is Blitz City Haxorus. Very, very interesting and eventful match between the two of them. Really, really interesting. There's so many instances in this league where it was kind of like the Unexpected Force. Unexpected Force, I just read Beware Unexpected. The Unstoppable Force versus the Immovable Object. It looks like Amoonguss was the immovable object in this match. So stay tuned for some more Week 6 matches coming up. There's going to be a lot of them, so stay tuned, and I'll see you then. This is Noel from Sun and Friendly, and I'll see you then.